Hello everyone, this is Alex from BSC Designer. Today we're exploring the practical side of implementing risk management in strategic planning. Let's begin with a brief overview using this diagram to illustrate the typical risk management process. Step 1, risk assessment. We begin by assessing existing driving forces to identify relevant risks. Risks are always discussed in a specific context defined by the objective or goal and by the stakeholders involved. In our software, you will find a pastel template for analysis of driving forces and a stakeholder analysis template. Step 2, risk analysis. Moving on to the second step, we conduct a comprehensive analysis of the identified risks. Our goal is to understand risks better by identifying early sign indicators and quantifying the risk. For quantification, we use metrics like probability, impact, and vulnerability. Step 3, risk response. The third step involves deciding how to respond to the identified risks. This is where we create a risk mitigation plan and establish progress indicators to monitor its implementation. Finally, in the fourth step, we focus on continuous risk monitoring. As driving forces and the business environment change, we aim to adapt our strategy accordingly. Now, let's discuss the risk management template available in BC Designer. You can add it to your account by navigating to New Scorecard, More Templates, and searching for risk. Let's start with a lightweight risk definition example. We simply defined the risk and included details of the risk mitigation plan in the description field. To track the risk status, we aligned a progress indicator with the risk. If needed, we can assign owner, define timeline, budget, and upload supporting documentation. Now, let's review the next example, goal 2. Here we used the risk estimation indicator. This indicator is calculated using a formula, the multiplication of probability and impact. Probability and impact are quantified on the scale from 0 to 100. Another option is to quantify impact as an estimated dollar value, adjusting measurement scale accordingly. We also employed early sign indicator to improve our understanding of the risk. In this example, the risk is aligned with goal 2. How does the risk estimation relate to this goal? The goal is quantified by two indicators. The risk estimation indicator is a leading one, and the risk mitigation indicator is a lagging one. This configuration informs the software that the risk is linked to input factors or success factors, and the outcome is quantified by the lagging indicator that monitors the progress of the risk mitigation plan. This example serves as a starting point, and you can add more leading and lagging indicators to better quantify the goal and calculate its progress. Now, what if your risk estimation model is more complex, involving factors like risk vulnerability? Let's look at goal 3. It resembles goal 2, but we've added the vulnerability metric within the risk estimation. Here's a practical tip. Even though the software can automate any risk model, it's crucial to ensure consistency of the model across all scorecards. Apart from quantifying specific risks, we can also assess risk events in general using the weighted risk impact index. This index helps avoid masking the most serious incident by assigning higher weight to critical risk events. You can find a practical use case for this index in the example of cybersecurity scorecard that we discussed in another video. So, we've defined and quantified risks. The next challenge is to monitor these metrics over time. You can use the values editor to add fresh data to the risk for the next reporting period. The reporting period is defined by the update interval property. Some indicators may require monthly updates, while more stable metrics can be updated quarterly or annually. Finally, we can visualize risk on the dashboard. In this example, I have a list of identified risks, risk mitigation initiatives and their progress, goals and their performance, indicators for risk events of a specific type, and current state of the risk index. My closing advice is to integrate risks into the strategic planning process. Instead of creating separate scorecards exclusively for quantifying risks, identify risks and their mitigation plans directly in your strategy scorecards. Align risks with specific goals and assign relevant stakeholders. Here's how to do it using BSC Designer. Select a goal, click on the Initiatives button, change the type of the item to risk, and include relevant details. Additionally, you can assign a stakeholder related to this risk. Now you can add an indicator to quantify the risk mitigation plan and align it with the risk through the risk dialog. Furthermore, you can include a risk estimation index. Simply copy it from the discussed template. The software will visualize the risk on the strategy map and relevant dashboards. As always, our team is ready to assist you with your strategic planning challenges. Thank you for joining us today.